The media has always made her, start doubting about herself, her capabilities, her ability, to play the game at the highest level. And around the world, that is the main story, because all the media houses now are coming to discuss what exactly is happening in the world of sport. Remember, athletes, sportsmen and women have also their issues, mental issues, becoming an integral part of the discussion around the well-being of athletes and sports and sportsmen. Now, we want to move to cricket, where the national cricket women's team is back to training after nearly 18 months without action. The team is preparing for the Kwibuka cricket tournament in Kigali, Rwanda. The cricket team's return to action is part of an action plan by the Cricket Normalization Committee, chaired by retired Judge Justice Joyce Alwoch. Recently, the Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Ambassador Amina Mohamed, appointed a normalization committee to try and restore sanity in local cricket, which has been in turmoil in recent years. To discuss the significance of the return to training of the women's team, we are now joined by David Odhiambo, better known as Pamba. He is one of Kenya's top cricket umpires. Odhiambo has been a member of the associate and affiliate panel at the International Cricket Council. We are also joined by Dan Okinyo, a seasoned journalist who writes for the Star newspaper and also an avid cricketer, and I'm sure he'll be joining us shortly. But I would like to welcome David Odhiambo to this discussion. David, karibu sana.
Thank you, Robin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can see also Dan Okinyo has joined us. Dan, karibu pia.
Thank you very much, Toski.
Yes.
Morning.
Okay.
Morning.
Yeah, over the weekend we saw the national women's team, that is the cricket women's team, has gone back to training for the first time in more than 15 months. I think it's close to 18 months. And we had an interview with Dr. Walter Ongeti, who is a member of the Normalization Committee, and is also from the Sports Ministry. I don't know if we can listen to what Dr. Walter Ongeti had to say in that interview before I come to you, David Pamba and Duncan Okinyo, so that you can respond to what is going on. Can we listen to Dr. Walter Ongeti?
Very good amount of work. And so on behalf of the chair of the committee, Lady Justice Joyce Alwoch, I wish to just mention that a lot has been done so far. First, beginning by looking at the various documents that existed, you realize that there were issues of the Constitution which were at the center of discussions. And so we've been able to look at the constitutions, we've been able to receive proposals from various stakeholders. Because of COVID, we have not been able to, it has been the desire of the committee to meet as many stakeholders as possible face-to-face, but that has not been possible. But we've been able to receive phenomenal memoranda from stakeholders, from all of them. They've sent in their suggestions of how they think cricket should be governed, how they think cricket should be managed, and we are continuing to review those memoranda, because some have sent in as huge as 800 pages of suggestions, and that just indicates the interest that they have in the game. And we've been able to also meet a few other stakeholders face-to-face, like we've been able to meet former players, we've been able to meet some former officials, we've been able to meet umpires and scorers. And we're continuing to meet others. We've met the national team, both men and women, and that just indicates that the Normalization Committee is really up to task. The other thing that we are now doing is to consolidate the views of stakeholders, and at some point then we'll put them in the constitution, and we'll invite them for a stakeholders forum for all of them to look at the proposed constitution, and later on then they validate, because it belongs to the stakeholders. And one of the things then we are happy about is the fact that the stakeholders, all of them are willing, from their memoranda, from their interactions, they are willing to engage, to discuss, to talk, and to have cricket back to its normalcy, and we are very, very excited. We are getting there. We can't say that we at this point would want to pinpoint on an issue, and that I think I would also leave to the chair and the committee once we have a solid position on that matter. I think we'll be able to communicate. But generally, it's just a matter of agreeing to work together. And once people agree to work together and focus on the athletes, and I know that at the end of the day, the athlete is at the center of the activities, and to also look at the growth of the sport across the country. I think once, and all stakeholders seem to agree in that perspective, that the athlete should be at the center, that we should all try as much as possible to develop the sport. I think once those are agreed on, then they are put in a document which is acceptable to all stakeholders, and then we should be able to move forward. What is exciting is the fact that there is commitment from stakeholders to work together and to ensure that there is growth of the cricket sport. There has never been any resistance. In any case, there is a lot of support from all stakeholders. Anytime we've called on stakeholders for input, for support, we have received it. And if you just want to see, you will engage all of them, and you will see that they are supportive. None of them has come out publicly to say that they are against the Normalization Committee or against cricket coming back. So that is a signal that we are on the right path. And the beauty is that any stakeholder who has had an issue, the chair of the committee has had an open door policy for them, and they have come and we've talked, and they have shared very, very beautiful suggestions.
Yes, that is Dr. Walter Ongeti talking to KTN over the weekend as the women's team resumed training at Simba Union. Mr. Odhiambo, David, that is the situation. That is Dr. Walter Ongeti saying that there is commitment, there is the willingness to have the game come back, to be played on the pitch. I don't know, what do you make of the decision of the Normalization Committee to enable the women's team to get back to training ahead of the Kwibuka Cup?
Yeah, Robin, thank you very much. This is really an important event in regards to women's cricket. If you look at what's been happening, if not at the sport for the last 18 months, we have women now gearing to go to the Kwibuka Cricket for Peace tournament in Rwanda. As it stands, that's the only engagement that the women's team would be able to participate within the calendar year of 2021. The other event that Kenya was supposed to participate in, the qualifier, Kenya did not meet the criteria set by ICC, which they need to have teams playing within their territory. So by that fact, Kenya failed to meet that criteria. So on that technicality, they've been knocked out by ICC, so they will not be able to take part in the qualifiers heading for Botswana. So it's really key that there is an event that they can look forward to playing within the calendar year of 2021. And we think the Normalization Committee has assisted in regards to getting the girls back on the field, and as well as whatever they're doing around other teams, the males, the under-19, and the senior teams follow suit after this.
Dan Okinyo, the fact that the Normalization Committee is working on a plan to ensure that cricket returns to the pitch, that players get back to playing. Of course, we know there have been COVID issues and the restrictions, the protocols needed to allow the sport to return. But of course, there have been so many other issues. But then it must be encouraging again, Okinyo, that at least some steps have been taken, and especially by the Sports Ministry, to ensure that cricket gets back to where it should be.
I think by the government coming in to organize the team to prepare for the tournament, Kwibuka tournament, I think is a welcome gesture from the government and as cricket stakeholders. Personally, I appreciate their effort, and I think it shows the government is really, really committed to bring sanity into the game. And even though it was a short notice, we hope that something positive, they're going to learn something from how the girls are going to be preparing and how the girls are going to perform in the tournament. Over the weekend, I made a visit to the training camp, and I could see that the spirits were high, and there is something that the government is doing that has been missing in cricket. One of the things, as far as I'm concerned, the girls are in the camp. Something that it's really, really long since something like that happened. And again, you could see the technical squad is really also up to the task. And so I just hope that they're going to pick some lessons from whatever is happening in the girls' training, so that they can do the same when it comes to men's cricket. And I hope whatever is coming out on the pitch is actually what to expect to see when actually they come up with a full report, and that as they try to bring sanity in the game.
But Okinyo, having a sports ministry official in the form of Dr. Wangeti, coming in, trying to reassure the country about the steps that are being taken, you, as a journalist, you did not anticipate that kind of a thing, that the game has now moved from the hands of the administrators of the game to the sports ministry officials. Well, it's a good thing that the government has come in, but it's a strong indictment of the cricket officials in this country.
I think it's a good thing because as far as we are concerned, it has taken us about 3 years to bring sanity into the game. And if the government feels that it's up to them, they should take up the task. Why not? And as Pamba has mentioned, we missed out going to African World Cup qualifier in Botswana. We missed out because there's something that we had not put right. We did not put some things right because we didn't have an office. We didn't have people that are going to lead us to achieve what we were supposed to do. So if you could have waited again to bring up sanity into the team, actually we wouldn't have gone to the Kibuka tournament. So I think by seeing the government official going to Simba Union and seeing how the girls are training, it's good because now they have taken up. They feel that for how long can we wait for cricket stakeholders to come up together and bring sanity into the game? So their gesture is welcomed, and I just hope, as I said before, I hope they are going to learn some lessons, that even the decision they are going to take, even the recommendation they are going to take as we move forward, they are going to have a very positive impact into the game.
Odhiambo, when I look at your resume, your CV, having umpired to the highest level in the world of cricket, you are a former development manager at Cricket Kenya. It must be troubling you that there's an external intervention to ensure that the game, is played in Kenya.
Yeah, it's something that is very disappointing that we as cricketers could not be in a position to put our house in order so that we continue with the game as we had done before. And it's very sad for someone who's been development manager for almost a decade now. And I've watched this in anguish as the game has just fallen off from where it was. The teams have just been on a downward spiral. And also, as far as management is concerned, the management of the sport has been poor in the last few years. And to have an external interference by the government sort it out, it's sad initially, but again, it's welcome because maybe that's the only way we would have sorted this. It had got to a point where I think individual elements had interfered with the running of the game, and we were not heading in the right direction. So I think this is a welcome move so that we can have some normalcy back in our game to allow the game to thrive, because the game has failed to thrive because of leadership qualities which have been questionable over time now. It's almost since 2017 is when I think the rain started beating us in regards to operations of Cricket Kenya, and it's gone down ever since, and it culminated last year, May, when the board that was elected to stay for a year did not conclude the constitution to allow the game to elections to come in and the new board to be elected so that the game can move on. So with that failure, the government has come in and now they're trying to normalize the game. We welcome it. and hopefully that it can work out for the better.
Okinyo, what is the state of the players, the physical preparedness, of course, being out for all those months? I don't know, from what you saw over the weekend as they resumed training, how are they, what shape are they in? Will they be able to play this tournament? Because it should be on June 6th?
Definitely, having sat out for over 1.5 years, doing nothing. There are those that probably could say that they have been having much fitness. That's a different case. But with our girls, they have not stepped on a cricket pitch. I think for the whole of last year and half of 2019. So I don't. We couldn't expect them that are going to be in the best form. But having looked at them, as I said before, the spirit were high, and again. We didn't expect, looking at the squad that was selected and the opposition they're going to play, then we don't expect a lot to be done to them, because as far as I'm concerned, that is our best team at the moment, going to play the second tier of those other countries, or even third tiers. For as far as I'm concerned, Uganda is bringing their third tier, or even their fourth tier, because Uganda normally brings up their best performance in the secondary schools. Rwanda, they're trying to build a team. Nigeria, I looked at their squad. There's only 1 or 2 players that have played that to the international level. The rest are new players. So Kenyan team that was selected, it will be very difficult to say that it's going to be a tough tournament for us. I think it's going to be a walk in the park for Kenyans. And that brings me to my worry about the selection of the team. Mm-hmm. What was so important for us to select our seasoned players? Because the history of that tournament has been that it has been a stepping stone for the countries to bring up their new players. For about 3 years, Kenya has gone for that tournament. They have still selected the same players that have been there for years. So Kenya, as far as I'm concerned, Kenya missed the point, but I don't blame them. I don't blame Kenya, because we don't have those players that could. Maybe we have them, but they have not been given an opportunity to get to that tournament. So just to answer your question, I expect Kenyans will have a walk in the park in that tournament.
Yeah. Before we listen to Lady Justice Aluoch on what she had to say about the Normalization Committee, I'd like to hear from David Odhiambo, former development manager at Cricket Kenya. What is the state of the game now in terms of player scouting, player development at the lower level? Because as Okinyo says, that Kwibuka tournament should have been used to have new players now step up to the bigger stage. I don't know, from your own interaction with the cricket at the grassroots level, what is the status like? Do we have the players coming through?
We would have the players coming through, but it has taken quite a while to develop the game, and also the access by players, the support at that lower level. We could say that we could use Kwibuka as a development defense, but if you look at our development structure at the minute, while in I said the range started hitting us around 2017 with just development, and that's where we've just gone down, we spiraled down to a level where we are. If we were to take a junior team, in this current squad there are quite a few juniors as well. Lots of people who are still even in primary schools who will make the squad as well. I believe they will make the squad to go to Rwanda and put up a performance. Yes, we could have used this, but as we are at the minute, we do not have a very strong youth system. Of course, that's been negated by the structures being poor at that grassroots level and not being able to support a proper development squad that will go and compete. At the minute, we might have to go with what we have now. Then in future, we can develop a proper grassroots team that would now be able to represent us And a lot of those decisions also have been made at a level beyond me in regards to when I was there at my position. There is a selection committee that we had in place, and they would select what they think would be a team that would be competitive. Of course, most of the time, as a country, probably Kenya would want to win. They would want results because if you look at the men and even the under 19 in probably the last 25, they didn't play too well. They've been losing a lot of matches, and maybe the ladies have been now taking pride. And at times, you feel sorry for them because sometimes you say, yes, you need to give opportunity to younger players, but where will the older players play? For example, if we were in a good position and we gave the younger players an opportunity to go and play now, and there is a qualifier, we would have gone to the qualifier to play with the senior players. But now, we are not even going for that qualifier. So which means if you only put youngsters to go to this event, the older players will just do that. And I mean, if they don't play any cricket for a year or two, it's difficult to keep people motivated and continue playing the game.
Well, in March this year, early this year, the Cabinet Secretary for Sport, Ambassador Amina Mohamed, appointed retired Justice Lady, that's Joyce Aluoch, and she also appointed another respected judge, Al-Nashir Vishram, in one team that comprises people like Jane Muigai Kampuis, Morris Alwanga, and Walter Ongeti. There's also Jackson Indakwa, Rispa Mukonyo, Mercy Oiro, and Carolyn Kariuki as part of the Normalization Committee. And this is what Justice Joyce Aluoch had to say immediately she met some of the stakeholders. Let's just have a listen.
We have engaged senior men national team players. We also engaged senior women national team players, as well as development coaches from around the country. We wanted to hear it from them. They told us their challenges, especially since cricket game has not been played for the past almost 1.5 years. They told us what their challenges are. We wanted to hear it from them. We also discussed the immediate resumption of cricket game. We have discussed that elaborately. And we have also discussed how to develop a cricket game, the sport, nationally. We engaged them. We have heard from them. We are a committee that was appointed for 6 months, and we are doing our very best to get cricket sport back to where it should be. That's why we are called a normalization team. We will continue in this exercise, and hopefully we will be able to engage some stakeholders as well. These are also stakeholders, and we hope that we will engage some more. We may not reach everybody, we may not talk to everybody or all groups, but we'll try our best.
Retired Judge Lady Justice Joyce Aluoch there, who is chairing the Normalization Committee. Gentlemen, Okinyo, Aluoch should be enjoying her retirement now, but then she has been brought forth to step up and try to help Kenyan cricket. And she says that they've been given a 6-month mandate. Do you think that 6 months is enough to level the ground to ensure they deliver an election within the cricket Kenya community?
Should be enough. As far as I'm concerned, again, as you asked, it's very shameful that we had to be given somebody, an outsider, to come and solve our problem. And the time frame that was given, it should be enough, depending on what's going to be brought forward. We've got a number of issues that I hope, as Walter mentioned, I just hope that the issues are brought forward and they'll find a solution. So what I expect to happen is that I expect after 6 months, we're going to have sorted out the issue to the constitution, which again has been one of the main issue that has brought the game into the state that it is at the moment. And then another issue that I'm going to hope that it's a big issue that probably it should be brought on the table and be addressed. We've got a number of personal issues as far as between cricket stakeholders. And that has been the main issue that has put the game in such a situation. We might be talking about constitution, but there are those that we feel they don't have a goodwill as far as the game is concerned, because there are those that have a lot of bad blood for some time. They cannot sit together with any other person. And this has really derailed the game. So I just hope that whenever they're going to be meeting with those players and talking about how they're going to improve the game, these are the things that could be brought forward. But again, if you have an issue with somebody and has taken you about 20 years, that issue has been there. It's going it won't take 6 months for this to come out. So I just hope that these issues are going to be brought on the table and a way will be found to address them. But I just hope that she will deliver so that we won't have the same problem happening once again.
Thank you very much, Okinyo. As part of your closing remarks, David Odhiambo, could you just put into a perspective, as a sports person playing the game, umpiring the game, how important is the issue of constitution? Because it's one of the issues that has really generated a lot of heat. How important is the issue of constitution in relation to the development of the game as you give your closing remarks?
The constitution is really important because that is the governing document for the court. And in regards to the constitution, it needs to be followed, but it needs to be able to take into consideration all areas of the sport. As we said, the byproduct of any is the team out there. That is what things represent. That's the product. If you're in a company, you produce goods, and if you're in a sports organization, you produce players. What I was impressed by Walter Nketi in remark is he mentioned that we need to focus on the athletes. And that happened in the earlier years where Kenya was thriving, focus on the athletes. Recently, there's been a bit of interference in regards that officials might talk that they need more recognition. I think that if it's player focused, the players go out there, they represent people who are doing the job in the background, will get the recognition when the team does well. But you need to prepare that side to do well. So that document is really important in regards to the fact that it will form a basis on which all the events of the association will be run under. And that includes the arm on development. So if the constitution is strong and the constitution cuts across all areas and it's respected and upheld, then of course when we go and do our operations at the lower levels, whatever levels any individual is at, it starts with the top. If the top is good, everything beneath it will just follow suit, naturally. But if the top falls apart, say the fish was from the end, it becomes difficult for the rest of the top to be able to operate in a manner that makes the game excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That is David Odhiambo, popularly known as Pamba, a former cricket development manager at Cricket Kenya. He's also an umpire. He's refereed the game or umpired the game to the highest level within the International Cricket Council. structure. And I've also been talking to Dan Okinyo, a seasoned journalist, an avid cricket fan. He covers the game, he plays the game, he actually coaches the young kids the game. And we just hope that the cricket women's team will have a